Hey guys, it's me Astrid, and it is time for us to mount this Brassavola Sarah Black big one. Let's get started. Alright, so what we have here, we've got a bucket to collect the waste. We have some scissors. We have a cork mount with a little wire hanger that we can hang it up with later. We have our clear string, which is definitely hard to see, but a little easier on this black background. We have our sphagnum moss that's wet and drippy, and we have our plant, which, as you can see, just has lovely blooms. I love it. Let's get started. So, for unpotting, let's first do some unpotting, because I did get this from my friend, so we're probably going to have some things that we need to take care of. Some people might want to soak the pot first. I don't usually do that. And bam. There we go. So what's going on in here? We got meh. This plant does not have a well-established root system. It's just kind of too wet in here, too soggy. Ooh, we got some mites. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But yeah, this is not ideal. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this all off. I'm going to take it to the sink and I'm going to rinse the roots off when I'm done. And I'm actually going to spray this with some hydrogen peroxide because it has a bunch of icky nasties hanging around. I see soil mites and I don't have that in my collection, so I don't want to get that. Okay. Wow, that grew through the bark. Amazing. Okay, so you can see the root system now. Now, some of these roots, these old ones, are just kind of pulling off like that, mushy, papery. Well, we can cut those right off, okay? So I'm just going to take and cut and cut, cut. And again, we're going to just test these roots here. This one's bad, this one's not good. We're going to cut that root. And let's test. Ooh, that one came right off. You see that? No good. That one's no good. These ones are just breaking right off. That's not nice. Okay. So we're going to cut. Whoops. And I'm just going to keep breaking off roots that don't look healthy to me. Okay. So for the most part, the remaining roots are firm when we squeeze them. They look like they're going to be okay, so I'm just going to leave that as is. Now, because I saw some mites, I want to clear off all this extra little sheathy stuff here. You see that? So we're just going to, I just like to pinch it with my fingers and pull it off like this stuff. Peeling this off isn't necessary, but it is, according to most growers, will say it is going to help prevent bugs because bugs will hide out in little nooks and crannies like this. Okay, so here's our plant. I'm going to go to the sink and I'm just going to rinse the roots so they're clean. So here's the roots before, and here's the roots after. I hope they look a little bit cleaner, but we'll see. Now, something I want to try to do with this orchid that Danny showed to encourage new growth is I want to cut the rhizome so that the orchid will be encouraged to make some new growths for me. So I noticed as I was cleaning this that this plant, this part of the plant, right where the camera is being blocked, this is a little eye that's growing and could grow were it given the chance. So My idea, because this was a free orchid and I'm not scared of monetary loss, I am scared of losing such pretty blooms, but my idea is to go ahead and cut this right before that, because we've got 4 pseudobulbs here and we've got 4 bulbs here as well. And if we cut it right there, we might encourage some new growth. Now, that part is extremely experimental. I do not know if it will work or not, so try at your own risk, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. And we're just going to go ahead, take this right between the growths. I'm going to go ahead and cut. Okay, now, who knows if that's going to be good in the end, but I think that this plant can recover. It has some roots, and we're going to go ahead and mount it and give it some sunshine, so it'll probably be okay. Conveniently, my water spray bottle fits perfectly onto my hydrogen peroxide thing, so we're just going to spray all the water out of that. And we're going to go ahead and screw this right on. How convenient. So I'm just going to spray all the roots on this plant because I don't really trust what I saw with those bugs, and I hope this will kill them, and I hope it will help sterilize the wound that I made by cutting this in half. Okay, so I'm going to listen. Now maybe you can hear some fizzing and crackling there. Danny always talks about it, but it's hard to pick up on camera, that sound, so I'm going to find out how we want to arrange our mount. So, you got this mount. Now, you want to put your oldest growths at the back. So the oldest growth, whoops, is this one right here, because all the subsequent growths have been going forward, and we just cut it apart right here, you see that? So we are going to go ahead and put this as the back and this as the back, and we'll put these on the base together. And poor blooms, I really hope you don't drop tomorrow. Wishful thinking. We're going to take a little bit of sphagnum moss, and we're going to lay a pad of that down here. And I'm going to take my string and tie it around. Now remember guys, we got to leave the tail. Remember the tail? So the tail is this long bit of string right here that's just on the end. We're leaving that because that'll help us tie the string off when we're done. We might have to dig it out, but it's better than trying to finagle with string otherwise. We're going to wrap this around. Okay, so now this is kind of firm. We can see if we flip it over. Oh, there's a loose bit. It's staying in place. So then we're going to take this guy. We're just going to place him sort of right here toward the base. You see that? And I'm just going to go ahead and keep wrapping around, and I'm going to go between these growths. You can see I'm kind of adjusting this as I go because I want it to sort of move with the mount and grow with it nicely. I hope I'm staying in frame, you guys. I'm sorry if I'm not. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap around the roots. You can see kind of wrapping around the roots, so they're tied down a bit. And that's the first half. Now I'm going to go ahead and mount this second half. And I think I'll do it just like this. I'm going to add a little more sphagnum moss. Okay, so we've got the sphagnum moss laid out where I want it. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this right here. And hopefully not break off too many roots in the process of this. Okay, and we are just going to get this down nice and stable. Okay, so I'm doing a little wobble test now. So what we're going to do is we're going to wobble the plant and see how wobbly it is. Well, this is freaking on the mount. This, you could pull the mount up by this plant. It's solid. This one here is a little bit wobbly. I think it should be okay, but I might just wrap it a couple more times around. Okay, so we're going to go for another wobble test. There we go. That's sturdy. That's secure. This plant is on this mount. Now what we're going to do, we're going to fish out that tail I was harping on about at the start of this, which can sometimes be challenging. You might want to use a fine crochet hook or something of that nature, but I'm pretty sure it's right here. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and cut this string. I don't know if you can see the string at all. There we go. I'm going to cut that. And we're just going to go ahead and tie the end of this to the tail that we left at the start. Maybe you won't be able to really visualize this, but I'm just putting a bunch of regular knots down. And voila, we have a nice mount. Let's see what it looks like hanging up nicely. Are you ready? Ta-da! Here's this orchid, lovely and mounted. I don't know if I'm going to add more sphagnum moss because this orchid is an orchid that does like to dry out between waterings. That's why I only added a thin layer. I might add a little more later, but this orchid I might just do a dunk every day. We'll see how that goes. You can always add more sphagnum moss later if you happen to hate what you've done and want to change it. So there's always the opportunity to add more, and I think it's a little harder to take away. But yeah, I really hope this grows well, and I really hope these blooms stick around for a few days, but I don't know. They already stopped being fragrant because they're being disturbed. I think that's why. So we'll see. But I will get it to rebloom because it's going to spread out on this mount. It's going to grow up beautifully, and I can't wait to get this to a specimen size. Alright, here's your mount, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.